Well, it's a new year, and a lot of people have New Year's resolutions. Some people keep them for months, some weeks, in my case, days. But how do you stay on track with it?
Well, we want to help you with that. Dr. Abigail Averini is back with us from PsychEd Connections, and we're going to talk about ways to be more successful. Hi, Doctor. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
All right, so first of all, I'm sure that you have to start from the very beginning and the setting of the New Year's resolutions, right?
Right,
so
right.
What can you do differently?
Yeah, one of the most common pitfalls, I think, is just how people conceive of resolutions and goal setting in general. There's an acronym actually that's used in a lot of business planning, and I actually use with clients often, that is really helpful, and that's SMART. It stands for specific, measurable, action-driven, realistic, and time-sensitive. If you think about, I like to use this metaphor, if you think about building a house, what's the most important part in building a house?
Foundation?
The foundation, exactly. And so if you think about that in terms of your goal, having a very solidly built foundation is really important, and it gets skipped a lot of the times. And you wouldn't just go throwing up walls building a house, because if you did, they just come crumbling down. And it's the same thing if you think about, for example, an exercise goal, which is a really common one, losing weight, right? So people have this idea, I'm going to get healthier, I'm going to lose weight. It's none of those things. It's neither specific nor measurable nor based on any sort of plan. And then they kind of are surprised when days or weeks in it fizzles out. Just like if you were going to throw up walls and be surprised when your house comes crumbling down.
I think that makes sense too. People have an idea of what they want to do, but there's absolutely no plan to carry it out and execute.
What would be the foundation in that example?
The foundation would be, okay, so having a specific measurable plan. So what is going to be the measure of your being healthful? You know, is it going to be an amount of times exercised per week, a healthy diet? What is the specific day in and day out? Which kind of leads me to another idea, and that is that this one gets, I think, missed a lot, that the goal should be based on your process rather than your outcome. So an outcome-based goal is something like, I want to lose 10 pounds. So it is measurable, it meets some of the criteria, but the problem is you can do everything you can to possibly try to lose that weight, and sometimes your body's just not ready to take off 10 pounds. So it can be a real blow to your self-esteem when you have an outcome-based goal like that and you can't possibly reach it. If you base it on your process, so I'm going to exercise 3 times a week for this amount of time, and I'm going to follow this diet plan, then you can do that day in and day out, and your body, you know, hopefully you'll get to what you want in terms of an outcome. But even if you don't, it's more motivating because your self-esteem is increased just by doing a good job on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it makes sense. It's not then dieting, it's the actual, like what you're saying, the process. It's the day-to-day, stick with that, and then you should have the outcome.
Right, exactly.
And then that actually, that's the foundation of it, then, what you're talking about.
Exactly, exactly,
So how would
all
that
those
work
pieces.
if some people want to quit things, like quitting smoking, or I'm going to stop gossiping, or so it's kind of the same thing. You have to say, take it maybe week by week, or how do you approach that?
It's the same idea. It's the same idea. You would just create it in a measurable step. I do like positive behaviors rather than negative ones. So rather than wanting to take away, what would you add in place of?
Okay.
I think positive outcomes and action is always just a little bit better. It plays a little bit better with mindset.
Right. Yeah, I could see that. And it's weird, too, because when you talk about, again, process, if you said smoking, well, what is the smoking process then? You know, so, but I guess that would be a good time to reach out to you, you know, to have some consultation and kind of figure this out then.
Right, right. And I even work with, in terms of motivation, a lot of times, even with adults, I work with incentives. So we put into place accountability factors. So how are you going to motivate yourself with rewards and even consequences for those behaviors?
You're an author.
I am.
I think that's so cool. So succeeding with adult ADHD, and then so you work a lot with adults, because you hear about it for kids all the time. You rarely.
Yeah, there are very few professionals working with adults, and the reason that I wanted to show this today is because it's actually very relevant to what we're talking about. Adults with ADHD struggle a lot with goal-directed behavior. So it's really common for me to work with clients with this type of activity in terms of maintaining goal-directed behavior.
I've heard stories about that where somebody was diagnosed as an adult and all of a sudden all of these things they thought they just couldn't do, they were able to succeed doing.
Right.
Like get promoted at work and things like that. So
Right. It can be quite a relief when people finally get a reason for some of the things that have been occurring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Louvrini, thanks for coming on. What's the best place to contact you if anybody has any questions or anything like that?
Yeah, the best way to contact me is probably going through my website, which is psychedconnections.com. There's a couple of emails through there, info@psychedconnections, as well as our phone number, which you can reach me through.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
thank you.
again.
Always learn every time
Yeah.
I see
Good.
it.
It's a process. Remember that. It's a process. Have a
That's right.
foundation.
That's right.
We'll have more after this.